My relationship to gaming is, well, complicated. Since my last update, I deleted Razumikhin and all my other characters. Then I didn't play World of Warcraft for 10 days. Then I created a warrior and got it to level 18, tried tanking dead mines, was terrible at it, missed my rogue, messaged a game master and got my rogue back. Almost completely naked, by the way, since I had sold all his items when I deleted the character. I didn't record myself deleting it all, but as you can see that I am no longer wearing my dear tunic of Westfall, but instead are sporting an inferior bristleback blouse, the truth of my statement is obviously beyond questioning. To say my relationship to gaming is complicated is somewhat of an understatement, but I don't know what other word I can use to describe my 20-year or so relationship to digital sports. I'm sort of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when it comes to my attitude to gaming, my divided mind torn between rest and recovery and the compulsion to get good and gank scrubs. The first relevant thing to know is that I have had moderate chronic pain since I was 17 years old. It seems to have come about from a combination of excessive gaming, general anxiety at school and stress at home. I was among the best in Dota when I had to quit the game, having just come home from Sweden winning a DreamHack tournament with Meet Your Makers, where one of the teams we played was captained by Loda, a player who would later win over $1 million in a Dota tournament. At that time in 2007, our first place at DreamHack won us about $1,000. Fear was there as my teammate, who would go on to win millions at Dota later. Fun fact, we were 6 people on the Meet Your Makers team while I was on it, so it was sometimes rather awkward to decide who would play a certain match. So when my pain started, I quit Dota and all gaming completely for more than a year. But it didn't solve the problem, though mainly it was more like having a sort of mild backache, only occasionally getting worse. In the last 10 years I have been gaming on and off. What usually happens is that I feel pretty good and then throw myself into some project, like getting good at Dota again and streaming on Twitch every day, but my pain flares up and so I have to stop and take it slow. Why Razumikhin died and was reborn. Which explains why I maltreated Razumikhin. I got sucked into World of Warcraft, binge played too much, got burnt out and had pain, and then decided to delete him before I went to bed. But it gets really boring after a week of just reading and watching Twitch, and not really participating myself and interacting and challenging myself online. And I should be able to play games at least a few hours each day. Just have to be careful not to play too much so I burn out my body. So back I go, maybe a tiny bit wiser on how to manage gaming, perhaps. I have a theory that my pain is just anger building up, and now finally Razumikhin is strong enough that he can start to pay back all the deaths he has suffered at the hands of the Horde. So to cure myself, I must gank as many Horde scrubs as I can possibly find. Though I will as a rule only kill a person once, I won't corpse camp, except warlocks who need to die twice to get a proper death, since they can revive themselves once. After being ganked a lot by players I had no chance fighting against, I was actually considering going for a PvE server on an official vanilla launch. But then I started meeting players that I could kill, and damn, it just feels so good to not be on the receiving end of violence. I think there's some insight to be learned here on humankind and history. After having been maltreated again and again, where you are completely powerless, it just feels great to have power in your own hands and to wield that power against a weaker player. Now, as a general rule, I try not to be too unfair in world PvP. I have only ganked people so far who are close to my level range, though that doesn't mean much when all those I actually can gank are within my level. But when I get level 50 say, I don't think I intend to one-shot a level 20 player I see. Or, well, maybe just once or twice, just to try it, you know. But then I will be reasonable. Unless he has a name I don't like, or is a member of a guild I don't like, or perhaps he has some stupid goggles on, or I might just be in a bad mood that day, and then of course I have to let go of some anger. You know, because I have to cure my pain, so of course I am excused. And he should be honored that he has got the attention of such a powerful player and force in the world, that I would even deign to notice such a tiny little worm as he and waste a few seconds on him. Just feels good, man. Getting your first solo horde kill against a player at a similar level as you is an experience that everyone should have. It just feels extremely good, especially if you have died a lot to the enemy players. And my ganks have given those I ganked some really good moments when they have barely managed to survive. Like the level 21 priest who lived at like 5% HP because he saved his Scream of Fear to the last moment, making me unable to chase him. When people have a chance to escape or fight back, World PvP is just so much fun for all parties, at least sometimes. There's something very primal about running around in a world where it is killed or get killed. It is only very recently in our evolution that we have become an apex predator, almost always not having to fear anyone except our own species, and here in the 21st century, in most places, we hardly even have to do that. When most of us take a walk in the forest, we just relax and chill out, and are not consciously alert about possible dangers, because the risk is so extremely low. But when running around in World of Warcraft, you have to be on your toes, and be both on the lookout for people you can prey on, and for people that as soon as you spot them, you better get out of the way and hide. It is hunt and be hunted. By the way, sorry for my abysmal PvP skills in these recordings. I need to practice a bit and to set up my hotkeys so I can avoid clicking spells as much as possible. In my first big PvP fight, I was mainly running around confused and having a hard time finding a target. But I'm getting better. For example, look at this silly warlock. He thinks I'm so bad he can use fear on me, without me interrupting it with my kick spell. Well, okay, it worked first time, but fear me once, shame on you. Fear me twice, then, well, I can't get feared again. And stay down, you fraternizer with demons. Lastly, I went into my second dungeon, Black Phantom Depths. It was the last place Razumikhin saw before I deleted him. Then I had to quit doing the instance because I was burned out. With this new team, it was the usual clownery, with our hunter running out of ammo 50 minutes into the dungeon, our tank constantly berating us for not hitting the right target, and then our tank rage quitting after doing a bad pull that wiped us. I prefer dead mines to this confusing dungeon, but the part where you have to jump from platform to platform is funny because someone always falls into the water, and then the rest can laugh at him. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching.